Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's reading. If my setting looks a little different, it's because I have a thick blanket on this glass table. It's been freezing my arms, so I decided I need something warm. Hopefully you can see my candle here on this side, flickering and giving off some more warmth. And I have a couple different decks around me. It's just going to be a collective reading today, and we will see whatever messages come through. I hope you all are doing well, and if not, I hope that I can help you. So I'm going to start by using the Witch's Tarot, and I will give these cards a good shuffle. And while I do that, you all can set your own intentions for this reading, either in your mind out loud or in the comments. And I will set my intention for this reading, that may all of those messages come through that need to be heard by the collective at this time, as well as for those who will be drawn to this video at any point in time. May all of the clear, highest truth messages come through for the collective through this reading. What messages do those who will be drawn to this video need to hear at this time? I keep hearing a recommitment to love, and there we go. I feel like in the Twin Flame collective, one of the counterparts is really having a hard time emotionally. Their mental and emotional health truly are not well. I feel like whoever's energy this is that I'm channeling, they're feeling quite uprooted in life. There is a lack of a sense of belonging, and some sort of tower moment, probably within the past week or so, maybe a little over, hit this person that really was a catalyst for major shifts and changes in their life to pull them out of this despondent, depressed state. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Moon card, and this really makes me feel like secrets that were being hidden, things that this person was keeping to themselves, has been illuminated through this tower moment. I feel like whatever it was that this person, I'm especially channeling a divine masculine energy. And if you are new here, know that I only read energies in tarot. These have nothing to do with biological gender. They could resonate for an externally incarnated masculine or feminine in your life, or they could also resonate for your own internal balance of masculine and feminine energies, because we all have those within us regardless of biological gender. So take it as it resonates. This tower moment made this person confess something that they had been holding within themselves that was putting them in this energy, in this Five of Cups energy, for far too long. And those truths being brought to light truly gave this person a sense of renewal, passion, victory, recognition of self, I'm hearing. So it feels like this person, as a pattern, was not used to ever choosing themselves. He or she was, well, since it's a masculine energy, I'm just going to say he was really conditioned to believe that his thoughts, his feelings didn't matter. And in order to be accepted, he just had to go with the flow, whatever that flow happened to be, and completely disregarded their internal compass for, you know, what feels right and what feels wrong, and just for the sake of fitting in, just for the sake of getting through the day, getting through life, really. This was the mindset that this person had, that this tower moment really shook up for them. And it kind of, it had two effects. I feel like this tower moment really amplified that feeling of being uprooted, of not belonging. But at the same time, it gave them a sense of hope of finding where they do belong and where they can put down those roots. So this is honestly a very intense energy. Like, I feel myself almost having difficulty breathing, like, you know, when you get anxious or when you get emotional, how that tends to happen. That is the energy that this person is really, or, you know, had felt during that time. What else do we need to know, Spirit? What else is happening for this divine masculine whose energy I'm channeling? Queen of Cups. This person finally got in touch with their feminine energy. And by that, I mean they finally acknowledged their own emotions, their own need. And even if it wasn't in the traditional sense of vulnerability, this person was finally open and communicative about their emotions, about their needs. A reality of sorts really hit them of what their life would look like if they didn't do this. And I get the sense that this is also for some who have an externally incarnated twin flame counterpart, that this was also teamwork between this masculine and feminine. In the 5D, their higher selves, it feels like, was working together to accomplish this task. What happened with the tower moment, the outcome of that tower moment. Here we have the Queen of Wands and we have the Nine of Pentacles. I feel like this Queen of Wands is currently representing that divine feminine externally incarnated counterpart, and the Nine of Pentacles is representing this divine masculine's liberation. And for those of you who don't have an externally incarnated twin flame counterpart, I feel like this is your own inner divine feminine finally merging or balancing with your divine masculine internal energy to give you this liberation, to give you this ability to set this boundary for yourself, to set this new expectation of how to be treated and what is and isn't okay with your boundary system. I'm hearing making your boundary known. So this divine masculine truly, in order to liberate himself in collaboration with his divine feminine, liberated himself by tapping into that feminine energy, being vulnerable and honest and communicative for that moment. I'm really feeling like a sense of relaxation. Like, you know how you have your muscles tensed and then all of a sudden you release it and you feel that sense of relaxation in your muscles? That's what I'm feeling in my throat chakra center. So I feel like what this masculine had been bottling up and he was so tensed about for so long, I feel that, speaking this truth gave them liberation from that tension. And as this Queen of Wands also suggests, reignited an internal passion, a motivation within them that they had lost during their period of depression. That fire, that sense of purpose, that sense of having something to look forward to and live for was reincarnated, or reignited, I should say, in them when this truth was spoken. So this is an extremely powerful energy coming through for this divine masculine here. It was literally like the end of an era of his life, that this masculine's rebirth actually began to take place when he spoke this truth, that it really feels like he had been terrified of speaking in the past. What else do we need to know? Two of Cups, a renewal and a sense of hope, fulfillment in life. I'm hearing fulfillment in life. This masculine seems to have had kind of lost faith in the fact that life can actually be enjoyable and beautiful. I feel that he had spent so long thinking about what he's missing out on, what his life is lacking, that whenever the depression would really hit, he would not be able to believe that anything good could really happen to him or for him. And a part of him, I feel like, does know, or did know, that he was keeping himself trapped by not speaking his truth. But at the same time, I feel that he didn't know how to do this without chaos, without turmoil in his 3D environment. Because this, remember, is not something that this masculine was used to. This is something that this masculine was truly working on healing in, unconsciously, subconsciously, possibly even in the 5D, that he was not in his 3D self completely aware of. He, I feel like, had some rose-colored glasses on about his situation, or, about his ability to turn things around in time. He was probably making some sort of a plan and just didn't realize that there was so much more that was happening beneath the surface, energetically, karmically, that would not allow him to just turn around and leave whenever he desired. It would require for him to truly close that chapter in his life in order to close that karma in his life. We have the High Priestess here. All of these things were kind of hidden in the depths of the soul of this masculine, that only after the Tower moment were brought to light. And I think it feels like it continues to be brought to light in little increments, or little light bulb moments sporadically. I don't feel like it was, an epiphany that just hit all at once. It's something that continues to hit him as he processes and continues to close out this cycle, continues to close out this situation. I get the sense that this masculine truly felt like he was in a trap or being held hostage in this situation, and only in collaboration with the divine feminine energy was he able to overcome his overthinking mind, his mental overwhelm, and actually impulsively speak his truth. I keep feeling like this energy of impulse. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords, which in this deck is a preparation card. It's not the normal rest card as in traditional Rider-Waite-Smith decks, but this masculine had been preparing a different approach for so long, without realizing that what he was planning would be futile, until he actually learned a certain karmic lesson and officially, outwardly, verbally, closed out, even physically closed out this karmic cycle in his life. This had been a burden on him for so long. And look at this person, right? It looks like this figure in the card has been on this journey for such a long time, carrying these 10 wands. And it feels like, he's come from a faraway place and he's going up here somewhere. And he's been carrying this burden for so long that he doesn't even know how to put it down. Like, he's kind of standing. It's not a shore, it's dry land, but, he's kind of standing at, looking out into the horizon at his destination. And he's thinking, gosh, that's up there so high, and I have all of this weight on my shoulders. How am I going to possibly get up there with these 10 wands on my back? Like, everything in life really started to feel impossible for some time for this masculine. It really feels like he was determined, but also this burden made him snappy. I feel like this masculine kind of was spending a lot of time in some defensive energy where he was going through so much internally and, not revealing it. He was keeping it to himself. And like we saw earlier, like not speaking his truth, so that made him really snappy, that he had so much going on in his mind all of the time that everything was just overwhelming for him. Like, I really get an overwhelming energy here with this 5 of Wands, and it is an overwhelm that is accompanied by confusion of, what do I do next? I know what my goal is. How do I get there? And this masculine, he was going back and forth, it seems like, between creating this more fulfilling life for himself that he was envisioning with his divine feminine, and oh my gosh, what he was manifesting within himself, or whether, he should just go at it alone. Like, if he should just fight all of these battles alone. This is the 5 of Wands. This here was the 7 of Wands. I think I called this the 5 of Wands earlier, so my apologies. But yeah, the 5 of Wands emerged. This card of conflict and confusion, but this is inner conflict and confusion for this masculine, because he was so used to not speaking up for himself, to not taking action, to keeping his desires, his dreams, his manifestation so much to himself that people around him, they would notice shifts in mood and energy, but nobody ever really seems to know what's going on with this masculine. And this Tower moment was a huge turning point in his life. I mean, the Wheel of Fortune is a major arcana card, as is the Magician. So 2 major arcanas in a row coming out, not to mention the Moon and the High Priestess earlier. That's 4 major arcana cards in this reading. This is huge, guys. This shift is really, really big for the internal healing of this masculine. And, I feel like this person could have like a lot of water in their birth chart, because this season, this upcoming Pisces season, really seems to be one of healing for them. It really seems to be one that is bringing up a lot of, childhood wounds, mother-father wounds, past possible abuse that they may have had to endure. that are, manifesting in different ways in their current life, especially if they had been allowing past abuse to dictate how they handle situations now. This Hierophant here speaks of family, speaks of roots, speaks of traditions, and this Nine of Wands is the defensiveness, the aloofness, the distance from, the distance that this masculine was emotionally, mentally, keeping from other people, kind of isolating himself, even though he was surrounded by a crowd of people, because he kind of has like this avoidant attachment style where he doesn't want to let people into his inner world. He doesn't trust people, and he really keeps his distance. He keeps his guard up. If anybody wants to get close to him, it makes him want to run. That was who this masculine had grown up to be because of these wounds incurred from his family roots. So that Tower moment that masculine faced was really transformative. I mean, these are really big shifts, guys. The Hierophant is the 5th major arcana card to come out in this reading, and we have an ace. Like, this is not small energy. This is actually really, really big. So this masculine, I feel like he's gonna continue on this healing journey for a little bit longer. I want to see how long he's going to be in this healing mode, in this healing energy here. I'm going to use a different deck. I'm going to use my little mini tarot deck. I want to see how much longer this masculine, ooh, see that? There's parts of him that are connecting and parts of him that he's still trying to figure out. This is complex energy that even my cards are going a little bit crazy trying to channel this. There we go. My gosh. And look at that. We have the 10 of Swords already at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. This masculine has really been going through it. Like, there is a lot on his mind. There's still a lot of overthinking energy, which is going to be a pattern that takes a little while for this masculine to break, because I feel like it's something that he has struggled with for quite a long time. The Hierophant again. I feel like his divine feminine, though, is his motivation for healing. It really feels like the divine feminine is what keeps him going. Here we have the Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I feel like this divine feminine, who is his counterpart, if it resonates for you in the sense of having an externally incarnated counterpart, it could be an air sign. So Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, it could be, any of those signs. It doesn't have to be, but the Queen of Swords indicates an air sign energy here. Take that as it resonates. These cards are just flying out, which to me indicates that this masculine is now kind of ready to let out everything that he has been holding back on all this time, especially, his divine feminine. This is the 5 of Pentacles card. This is the left out in the cold energy, which this masculine is also regretting that he left his divine feminine out in the cold for so long. And now he's finding that motivation to want to make things right with her. I get the sense that he really does not want to avoid this any longer than he has to. And if you are the divine feminine who is resonating with this for your counterpart, please know, divine feminine, that he's not avoiding you. He's simply taking time to heal, because he wants to come in with respect for you. He wants to be emotionally available and there for you. But after such a big tower moment and a big shift in his life, he's going to need some time to regain that footing. He is in a state of internal chaos from what this energy feels like here. We have the Nine of Cups. You are his wish fulfillment. This is what is keeping this masculine going. I sense that every time this masculine thinks about, oh, maybe I can do it alone, this burning urge, this desire to come talk to you. Do you see how this Page of Cups is like on his knees in this really romantic gesture? I feel like he's just being pulled towards you, divine feminine. This is the divine intervention, that no matter how much he tries, he just has to come back towards you, no matter what else he may be thinking in the moment. Here we have the Three of Wands. This manifestation is coming in. We had the Magician card in the previous deck, as well as the Wheel of Fortune. This is definitely something that is fated. It's destined, it's fated to happen. It's just a matter of time, really, that, this masculine is just going to take whatever time he needs to heal what this is that he's dealing with, so that he can come forward towards you. Yeah, it's the Nine of Wands again. This is his current energy, where, he's just kind of introverted, probably even from people that are physically around him, and just not really sharing a lot, because he's got so much going on in his head. Like, I just heard my guide say his spirit is on fire. So yeah, it really could feel that way, like, he's just burning up inside with all of these things that are now clamoring to come out, because that cork has been opened. When he spoke his truth, that cork opened, and now everything wants to just fly out and be like, I want to say this, I need to do this, I want to set this boundary. But this is part of his healing. This is the Sun card. This is a big part of this masculine's healing, and he has to go through that in order to be able to have this fresh energy for this connection again. If he wants to bring in the renewal, he has to go through this healing. So I keep seeing the Seven of Pentacles card in my third eye, which I feel like is just asking you, beautiful divine feminine, to have a little bit more patience, just a little bit more patience. Whatever seems like a delay is not really a delay. It's there to really support and help this connection move to the next level. It's there for a reason, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. As soon as I split the deck, we got the Thinking Man card, which, very much represents this divine masculine and the state that he is in mentally. He's overthinking. He has so much on his mind. Sometimes, yeah, he, that ego self might come up, but it's something that he's truly overcoming. It's something that is actively being healed in this process, whether he's doing the work or not. It's something that in the 5D is just naturally taking place. You can even say divinely taking place. This is funny. Okay, patience. Just like we said, right? Even this masculine is truly being asked to have patience with this process. I feel like, there's something with a lot of urgency that this masculine is desiring to do, like a move that he's desiring to make, and he wants to have all these ducks in a row before he does that. But I feel like there's another tower moment, another little storm that's coming his way that is also going to be a catalyst for this union. And it may cause a quote unquote delay, possibly for this masculine, in being able to take whatever action it is that he's thinking about. But the fact is that he is exactly where he needs to be at this time, because this is his healing process, his mental health, his emotional health. For some, I'm even getting physical health, that has been affected by this ongoing trauma effect. Like, for lack of a better word, it truly feels like an ongoing trauma effect that's being suffered here, because if past abuse has dictated how he's handled these situations for so long, how he has not been able to choose himself and validate his own needs, or even meet his own needs, ask for his needs to be met from people who were supposed to meet his needs, per se, his parents, or say people, from past connections, then this is something that he has to work through so he can be a healthy person when he comes back around, Divine Feminine. And I'm really seeing you healing as well. You are releasing your overthinking patterns. You are choosing coping mechanisms that are for your highest good now. You are not in your ego mind. You are controlling your fears rather than your fears controlling you. This is like an ultimate state of surrender. And I feel like it's something that now you are becoming used to. I feel like it's not something you were used to before. But here we have blossoming abundance at the bottom of the deck, that just by being in this Zen energy, just by being this surrendered, you are attracting everything that you desire. Everything is literally coming to you because you are willing to be patient, to trust in the divine that is guiding your connection, and to just rest in the knowing of your intuition rather than feeling the tumult of ego-based fears here. Any other messages, Spirit? I feel like there's like one or two cards that want to come out here. There we go. Financial constraints. This could be a big part of what this masculine is also stressing about, is his financial situation. Now, this also has a dual meaning. This is self-worth in this case with this energy, and it's also his financial health. I feel like this masculine is really struggling with that. And for some, it could be that whatever situation triggered the tower moment that's triggered this big healing that we've been talking about, I feel like that situation is what was affecting this masculine's financial health. That situation was draining him not only of his life force and whatever he had left of his self-worth, but it was also draining his bank account. It was draining his finances. For some, it literally feels like it could have been financial abuse by a karmic person. And that is something that the masculine is also trying to recover from in order to get his 3D life pulled back up by the bootstraps, right? And I feel like that's why this delay, whatever this patience card is referring to, is making this masculine so nervous, because it feels like he is just dying to get out of that situation because he cannot afford this financial abuse anymore, which for some, it really feels like in my eye, I can see somebody's eyes opening, like they're waking up, like they're realizing that what they had been enduring was financial abuse, and they didn't recognize it as such until somebody pointed that out to them. And when they pointed that out, this masculine just was, like in shock. And I feel like they also felt this sense of anger towards themselves, that they were allowing it, but it's not their fault because they didn't recognize it as abuse because it wasn't physical. And a lot of people have this idea that abuse always has to be physical, it has to leave a physical mark. But no, this is putting this masculine back in touch with his higher self, with higher consciousness. And it's a lesson for him to trust his intuition, his internal compass, when something doesn't feel right, to speak up for himself, to stand his ground, to keep firm boundaries, to learn to say no when it doesn't feel right. This is a really big karmic lesson for this masculine. Learning to appreciate and access and use his own psychic gifts, his internal, his intuition. This is this masculine's journey within. It's also his journey to ascension. And like this person has their bags packed, for some it is literally a physical move that they are waiting for, to move out of a physical home and into a different one in order to escape or end this toxic cycle that had been draining them of their life force. Yeah, and then we have rest and rejuvenation at the bottom of the deck, that, this time that they're taking for themselves, that Nine of Wands energy that we saw in the previous spread, is like, it's telling them to kind of shut out the noise. I just heard my guide say, shut out the noise and listen to their intuition, listen to their higher self. Pay attention when their internal compass is directing them in a certain way, because it's there for a reason. They were born with this gift for a reason, that they should not shut off their own voice for the sake of honoring somebody else's. You can honor other people's voice and still have a voice of your own. In fact, that's how it's supposed to be. And that is what this masculine is learning. And as this masculine is learning his lessons, you, divine feminine, are also continuing to ascend and get further in touch with your higher self. You are learning to see things in a way that you never saw before. You are learning to trust in a way that you have never trusted before. And that is such amazing energy, because that really takes a lot. It shows how far you have come on this journey. It shows how much you have actually grown, because this kind of trust doesn't come overnight. Think back to those times where you could hardly find peace. Even, if you bought a reading and you got reassurance, you would be worried if, okay, well, I got the reading at 2 o'clock, it's 2:30 now, what if something changed? Like, I get this really paranoid energy, because everybody knows energy is fluid, and there was this constant worry of, what if something's different now? What, between an hour ago and now, what happened? What's going to happen tomorrow? You're telling me that, this is in the cards for me right now, but what about tomorrow? Is the energy going to show the same thing? You have adjusted so much in your way of thinking that is allowing you to put an end to that really rough mental and emotional cycle. It feels almost like torment, honestly, what the beginning of this journey was for you, divine feminine. And it feels like that energy is currently being mirrored in the masculine. It feels like what you had been going through in the past is what the masculine is going through now. And that is very intense, because you've been there, divine feminine. You know what that's like. And now you're able to kind of be in that Zen energy and allow things to unfold naturally, because even though it was so tumultuous back then, when everything was, fear-based, and it was really difficult to pull yourself together or to hear your own intuition, they were all growing pains that you were going through, growing pains of surrender, growing pains of trust. It was actually an expansion of your spiritual self, an expanding of your energy body, a clearing of those blockages, and uprooting of those fears by, not just a surface level remedy, like an ointment that you put on top. This is like a pill that you swallow that goes inside the body, that targets the illness at the source, the issue at the source, and pulls it out from the roots. And that is how you, beautiful, strong, amazing, divine feminine, were able to end that cycle for yourself. Or you're probably still in the process of closing out the last bits, on and off. Maybe you get triggered, but definitely not like you used to in the past. And now I really feel like, divine feminine, you are giving so much of yourself to bring balance to this masculine. The masculine sees, even energetically, even through a distance, how much you are actually supporting him. And this is drawing him closer to you. For some of you, I feel like you could be sending encouraging messages, whether it's telepathically in the 5D, or for some of you, physically in the 3D. You could truly be showing your masculine that support that you wish you had from them when you were in their shoes. And you being there for them in a time like this, and the masculine being aware that this is something that you also went through, but you did it without their help and support. They literally worship you, divine feminine. They cannot believe that they have found a love like this, a loyalty like this, emotional presence like this, where they cannot believe that they could actually have and experience someone so beautiful as what this connection gives them. It allows them to see the bigger picture of everything, that your ascended state triggers them into wanting to be better. It triggers them into wanting to ascend. It triggers them out of their ego mind, and to look at things from a more spiritual, higher perspective, like a bird's eye view of sorts, even of their life and their situation. And it gives them hope. It gives them a new way to be that is more fulfilling. And in turn, you, beautiful divine feminine, ascend even further by just surrendering to the divine, by giving your worries up to the higher powers and just leaning back, relaxing, knowing everything is going to be taken care of, and being so much in your own power that you are able to be there for your masculine as well, while they heal their personal issue, because they're coming back, and that's all there is to it. We saw the storm warning in the previous spread. Here is a fiery climax approaches at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to try and get a little bit more insight into what that might be, but underneath that we have the energy is gaining momentum. And this is a very positive card, because this to me corresponds with this new romantic cycle beginning. Like this energy is what is gaining more momentum. The new cycle that's about to start, and this fiery climax that's coming up, really has to do with the final closing of doors to this old cycle, to this karmic cycle for the masculine, the final learning of his lessons, the final karmic debt to be paid before this new cycle begins. So I'll see if we can figure out what that is. What is this fiery climax that is approaching for this masculine? I'm going to put these cards back in here. What is the fiery climax that is coming in for this divine masculine? What is this fiery climax, Spirit? The Fool, okay. What's this? Two of Cups. Queen of Swords, okay. So this fiery climax still has to do with, I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of information on this. I feel like, yeah, a lot might not be revealed here. What is this fiery climax, Spirit? What is going to happen? Oof, too many cards. But, okay, so we have the 8 of Wands, the 7 of Swords, and the 10 of Swords. I'm going to take those since we saw them. And then we have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. So, okay, so this storm warning, this tower that's approaching this fiery climax might be further unmasking of deception. It might be this masculine really seeing true manipulation from whoever this karmic person or situation is in his life. Take that as it resonates, and unmasking deception around it that is actually going to cause him to move faster toward his goal of union with you and of liberating himself from this cycle that has kept him in such low vibrational energy, feeling at rock bottom for so long. So unmasking of deception is what this tower moment seems to be for this masculine. It's something that even though he is seeing, he's still overthinking, because if it is an actual person in this karmic situation that, you know, we're channeling here, then I feel like this masculine, like we said earlier, right, recently discovered something that was abuse that he did not recognize as abuse before, and he was angry with himself because he was allowing it. But then his overthinking mind, right, is still wondering about certain things, or perhaps just isn't aware of certain things. I want to get a couple more cards to see, is this masculine aware and he's just going to be shown more than what he's aware of, or is there some, like, what's going on? Okay, so my guides just drew my attention to the Sun here. So the Sun and the Fool card, and what that means to me is that this masculine already knows. It's not like he's doubting what, you know, oh, maybe this karmic situation isn't, you know, whatever. I think it's just that he's going to be shown more than what he already knows. That is the energy that I'm getting, and this card keeps peeking at me, the 6 of Swords. So it's going to be the final straw before this masculine literally packs up and says, I cannot deal anymore. Like, I just can't. And that is exactly what is going to finally close that door. Not that it isn't closing now, it is closing now. How do I say this in words? It's a door that the masculine already knows. He's 100,000% sure, 1,000,000% sure that he wants this door to close with the karmic situation. The karmic situation is over. There's not an inkling of desire in him to be there. But the thing is that this delay in him being able to move out or, you know, move away from it, is going to be unmasking some further lies and deception for him. That is going to be like the last straw of, there is absolutely no chance that I will ever forgive you for this. Like, you know, I don't ever want to see your face again. I'm hearing a divine masculine step in to say, I don't ever want to see your face again for this karmic person or situation. So take it as it resonates. But this is really heavy energy. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm just having a hard time articulating it because there's a couple different ways that the same thing is coming through. So this masculine does not feel restricted anymore because he's seen everything that he needs to see. He's heard everything that he needs to hear to be motivated to move forward and to bring the abundance to himself and his divine feminine. That's you, beautiful divine feminine. It's you that he is really working hard on bringing this abundance and this stability to. Truly. It kills him when he can't. We saw the Ten of Wands in the Witch's Tarot deck, the very first spread also, right? This is another burden for the masculine. You know, he's going to feel a little bit burdened when this situation, this fiery climax happens. You know, he's afraid of how it's going to affect his stability. He is going to be in a more introverted energy, probably kind of feeling more agitated, more irritated, but it's only going to trigger more action and more communication towards this Ten of Pentacles, towards this stable, beautiful home life with you, beautiful divine feminine. Just you. That's all this masculine desires. This is what he's manifesting. This is literally what he's manifesting, and this is what is coming in. Because infinite abundance is what I see coming your way, beautiful divine feminine. There is absolutely no question in that whatsoever. I hope that this reading resonated. Let me know in the comments what resonated for you. This energy is, oh my gosh, like I don't even have words. I don't even know how to describe what it is that I'm channeling. I'm clairsentient, so I channel energies through my own personal being while I do readings, and which is part of the reason why I feel so exhausted when I'm done. But this is just amazing energy. This is absolutely amazing energy. Your affirmation for this reading is, my manifestations are materializing for me. My manifestations are here for me. Comment it down below. Claim that your manifestations are here for you. It's already here. I hope you all have a beautiful night. Thank you for spending time with me. Check out the video description box below for my Instagram handle and my TikTok. I post little short readings there every single day, and the content is different on each platform. So the readings that are on Instagram are not on TikTok. What's on TikTok is not on Instagram. Instagram is the place to purchase personal paid services and readings from me. It is also where you can purchase my twin flame manifestation affirmations. All of that information is in the video description box below for your convenience. I only have these 3 platforms. This is my only YouTube channel. The Instagram and TikTok that I have linked in the description box, those are my only accounts. If they are not what are linked in my video description box, they are not me, they are scammers. Please be careful. So please be sure that, you know, spelling and everything is correct when you go to search me. So I do hope to see you all there. But if not, I will definitely talk to you all again in the next reading. Have a beautiful night, you guys.